This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Roxas. On the Scorecard tonight, Barangay Ginebra's long wait for a championship is finally over, and for the people who helped deliver the title, the victory meant far more than just another championship banner. Eala has already put together an impressive run on grass this season, but her biggest challenge yet now stands across the net as the Filipina star takes on world number 2 Elena Rybakina in Berlin. Portugal left frustrated in its opening match of the FIFA World Cup as Cristiano Ronaldo and company settles for a draw, while several other contenders opened their campaigns with victories. And later in the show, youth volleyball continues to gain momentum in the Philippines as we talk about the growth of the sport and the success of the Echelon Under-16 Club Invitational. All the headlines and more on the Scorecard tonight, the 18th of June. Now, here's our roundup brought to you by the Philippine Sports Commission, the Philippine Olympic Committee, and the NST-IAC. Eala is heading into the biggest match of her grass court season with growing confidence after a gutsy win over reigning Queens Club champion Donna Vekic in the Berlin Open. The Filipina star rallied from an early deficit to score a 7-5, 6-4 victory, showing that resilience that has become a hallmark of her recent success on grass. Serving for the match in the second set, Eala fell behind love 40 and faced 3 break points. Instead of crumbling under pressure, she saved all 3 and closed out the match with a pair of unreturnable serves. The victory also showcased a major improvement of her serve, one of the most scrutinized areas of Eala's game. She finished with 7 aces, just 2 double faults, and saved 12 of 14 break points in one of her strongest serving performances of the season. But more than the numbers, Eala said the win came down to her refusal to back down when Vekic made her final push.
She's an incredible player, and she's been showcasing it a lot lately, and every time I play her, it's been very difficult. So I had a lot of expectations for this match in terms of the level that I had to bring, and I'm happy with the intensity today.
Now, a far bigger test awaits as Eala advances to the round of 16 to face world number 2 Elena Rybakina, the 2022 Wimbledon champion. The two last met in Rome, where Rybakina won in straight sets, but Eala enters the rematch with momentum after her Birmingham title run and her impressive victory over Vekic. The match is scheduled not before 11:30 p.m. Philippine time on Thursday. Barangay Ginebra's championship run ended a 3-year title drought. But for Coach Tim Cohn, San Miguel Sports Director Alfrancis Chua, and veteran big man Japeth Aguilar, this title meant much more than just another trophy. Here is Zeus Valdez with this report.
Barangay Ginebra's return to the top of the PPA was about more than just winning a championship. After ending a 3-year title drought with an 88-76 Game 7 victory over TNT, the people who helped build the Gene Kings' latest title run reflected on what made this championship so special. Head coach Tim Cohn says the victory served as another reminder that championship should never be taken for granted. Despite winning more titles than any coach in PBA history, Cohn said the pressure and emotions never fade.
They're getting more and more special the older I get, because I know that it's not an infinite number anymore.
While Cohn reflected on the value of each championship opportunity, San Miguel Corporation Sports Director Alfrancis Chua looked back on the obstacles Ginebra had to overcome just to get here. After watching his team end 3 straight finals losses to TNT in import-laden conferences, Chua called the title the toughest of his tenure.
You know, this is the hardest championship since I was a sports director of San Miguel since 2013. 2013. From San Miguel, nag-champion. Ito nag-champion kami. Pero ito ang pinakamahirap, no?
Chua admitted he never expected Ginebra to even reach the finals, making the championship all the more satisfying. And for veteran big man Japeth Aguilar, the title carried a more personal meaning. After battling health issues earlier in the conference, spending time in hospital, Aguilar said this championship felt different from the others.
Alam naman natin, di na tayo bumabata. So namin, sobrang special.
Aguilar also credited his teammates for carrying the load throughout the finals as Ginebra finally found the formula to get past its biggest rival. For Cone, it was a cherished addition to a legendary career. For Chua, the hardest title he has ever won. And for Japet, a championship that served as a reminder to treasure every opportunity. Three different perspectives, but one shared feeling as Barangay Ginebra finally returned to the top of the PBA. Reporting for the Scorecard, Zeus Valdez, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Chris McCullough didn't leave the Philippines with a championship trophy, but he left knowing he helped TNT achieve something few expected. The former NBA forward arrived in the middle of the playoffs and quickly became the centerpiece of TNT's championship push. With McCullough leading the way, the Tropang 5G overcame injuries, defeated higher-seeded teams, and pushed Barangay Ginebra to a winner-take-all Game 7. Despite falling 88-76 in the finals clincher, McCullough said he has nothing to regret. McCullough delivered one of the most dominant finals performances in recent memory, including a career-high 53-point explosion in Game 6 that kept TNT's title hopes alive. He also took pride in helping what was thought to be a precarious spot for the franchise this conference.
They was the 8th seed. They wasn't supposed to be here, so I feel like I did a very good job of coming into a team where I really didn't know how they played. They didn't know how I played, but I feel like we gelled the right way and we played the right basketball.
McCullough also acknowledged the absence of veteran star Jason Castro, saying the former MVP's leadership was missed throughout the series. McCullough, though, sounded positive he would be back and get another shot at PBA glory. Mike Phillips is set to make his international debut after earning a spot in the 12-man Gilas Pilipinas roster for the third window of the FIBA World Cup Asian qualifiers. The LaSalle product recently received clearance from FIBA to play as a local, paving the way for his inclusion in the national team. Phillips joins a squad bannered by Justin Brownlee, Scotty Thompson, Junmar Fajardo, Chris Newsome, Kevin Kiambao, and Carl Tamayo. Gilas will be without Quintin Meliora Brown and Calvin Oftana for the window as the Nationals prepare for tough road assignments against New Zealand on July 3rd and Australia on July 6th. The Philippines currently holds a 2-2 record in Group A. The New York Knicks are taking their championship celebration to Washington. Team owner James Dolan confirmed that the franchise has accepted an invitation to visit the White House following its NBA championship victory. Dolan said the invitation was recently received and accepted, although details of the visit are still being finalized. The Knicks captured their first NBA title in 53 years after defeating the San Antonio Spurs in the NBA Finals, ending a championship drought that dated back to 1973. A White House visit has long been a tradition for major championship teams in the United States, with President Donald Trump expected to host the Knicks during the ceremony. Dolan, who previously invited Trump to attend a finals game, described the president as a friend. While it remains unclear if the entire roster will attend, Knicks guard Jose Alvarado said he would welcome the opportunity to join his teammates at the White House. The potential visit would mark another highlight in a historic season for the Knicks, who brought the NBA championship back to New York for the first time in more than 5 decades. Boxing legend Manny Pacquiao joined Filipino fans in celebrating Jordan Clarkson after the Phil-Am guard helped the New York Knicks capture their first NBA championship in 53 years. In a video call shared on social media, Pacquiao personally congratulated Clarkson, telling him he was happy for his achievement. Clarkson thanked the 8th Division World Champion for the message following the historic title run. The former Gilas Pilipinas standout became the first Filipino-American player to win an NBA championship after the Knicks defeated the San Antonio Spurs in the finals.
Congratulations, buddy. JC. Good. Yeah. I'm in LA.
Cristiano Ronaldo said Portugal must quickly move on after settling for a 1-1 draw against Congo in its opening match of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The 41-year-old star, now playing in a record-equaling 6th World Cup, defended his team's performance despite Portugal's inability to turn dominant possessions into goals. Ronaldo said Portugal could have won the match but admitted it could just as easily have lost, adding that the team's focus is now on its next group stage assignment against Uzbekistan. Meanwhile, João Felix said Portugal expects to improve as the tournament progresses after a challenging opener against a highly motivated Congolese side. Meanwhile, let's take a look now at the latest results from the FIFA World Cup. The 2026 Bingo Plus Philippine Asian Development Tour Open got off to a red-hot start at Luisita Golf and Country Club in Tarlac as 132 of the world's top golfers battled through the opening round. England's Thomas Plumb surged to the top of the leaderboard with a bogey-free 8 under par 64, using a strong back-nine finish to claim solo first place heading into round 2. Chasing closely behind is Chinese Taipei's Su Qinghang, who fired a 7 under 65 to take the second spot, while Japan's Naoki Sekito, Malaysia's Marcus Lim, and South Korea's Jae Kim ended the day tied for third at 6 under. The Philippines also made its presence felt on home soil. Young standout Sean Ramos and James Ryan Lamb both carded 4 under 68s to finish the opening round in a tie for 9th, keeping them in contention as the tournament heats up. Round 2 continues Thursday with players fighting to make the cut and position themselves for a share of the $100,000 prize fund. For the Filipino contingent, the stakes are even higher, with the top 2 local finishers earning berths to the 2026 Bingo Plus Philippine Open by the International Series later this year. Coming up next, youth volleyball continues to gain momentum in the Philippines, with more young athletes getting the chance to compete, develop their skills, and dream of following in the footsteps of the country's biggest stars. We talk about the growth of the sport and the success of the Echelon Under-16 Club Invitational when we return right here on The Scorecard. Welcome back to The Scorecard. The future of Philippine volleyball took center stage recently as young athletes from across the country gathered for the inaugural Echelon Under-16 Club Invitational. Tonight, we're joined by representatives from the PLDT Junior Hitters and the Capital One Solar Sunnies to talk about their experience in the tournament, the growth of youth volleyball, and what lies ahead for these promising young players. And of course, we'd like to acknowledge the presence as well of the owner and program director of Everyday Volleyball. Welcome back, Maurice Veneracion. Of course, we have the head of Echelon, Brian Dacanay. And of course, syempre, volleyball royalty, a member of the first ever DLSU Lady Spikers Championship squad, the legend, Iris Patrona. Thank you so much for joining us here. And of course, PLDT and Capital One. Welcome to The Scorecard.
Every day! Volleyball! One team!
Capital One!
Sunny!
Pinaghandaan. Maurice, it's great to have you back.
Yeah.
The last time you introduced Everyday Volleyball to us, now a lot of your players participated in this inaugural Echelon Under-16 Club Invitational. Tell us about the opportunity for these young athletes to have that experience in a high-level competition and get exposed to that type of atmosphere.
Yeah, well, first, it was a privilege for me to experience this. And the reason I say this is because I have been with these kids since day one, ever since they were a beginner up to intermediate. And now, seeing them play at this level, at a professional tournament level, was a proud volleyball dad moment for me. And me sharing that experience with them is a once in a lifetime, and I'm just happy to be alive.
Of course, we have Brian here, the head of Echelon. Brian, this tournament is very special for the kids. I mean, looking at them, they're wearing the team logos, the team names of teams na napapanood natin sa PVL. So parang junior PVL itong nangyari over the weekend. Could you tell us about the history of this tournament? And of course, do you have any more tournaments and events planned for the kids in the future?
Yeah, so I work for the PVL, so we do the social and the commercial side of the business of the Premier Volleyball League. So when I was talking, when initially when we were thinking about this idea, I come from a football background, so my idea of grassroots volleyball or grassroots sports in general was coming from a club perspective. Kasi I grew up playing club football, and when I was talking to our commissioner, Sherwin Malonzo, apparently this did not exist. This sort of competition where in football you had Alaska Cup, it did not exist for volleyball. So we kind of wanted to put that quickly together while the summer is ongoing. I got the blessing of Tito Ricky and Tito Tony to kind of be able to do this. And so I called a few team owners from the PVL, like Jude Torquato of PLDT and Milka of Capital One, and they were like, sige, tara, let's try it out. Through that support, we were able to kind of put this together and invite other clubs as well.
And of course, the event was an absolute success, reading so many articles about what happened over the weekend. Of course, I get to Iris here. I'm very excited every time I get to have a volleyball legend on the show. Iris, you played for Coach Ramil De Jesus in the UAAP back in UAAP season 62.
Yes.
Did you have this type of opportunity? Yung mga bata ba during this time na nagkaroon kayo ng tournament, under-16, and ano yung impact nito na your daughter Sam has this opportunity to play here in the Echelon Under-16 tournament?
Well, during our time, when we were 16 under 16, yes, there were tournaments, but it was not, as big as this one. I remember, if I can name names, there was also a PVL being held at IS, International School Manila in Kalayaan. So it was also kind of prestigious because there were a lot of participants, but it was school-based. And then there was also a Milo Cup, like a Milo Little Olympics during our time. So we also play that kind of tournament. It's national, actually. And then I think, and then there's also the old PNBF League, which caters to the regions. So it kind of merged in one venue in Manila in the then Ninoy Aquino Stadium. So that was all the tournaments back then. And you ask about what the effect right now. I think it's the kids nowadays, they get to idolize the players that they see in PVL. So having them play in this kind of stage, it's really like Sam. When I was talking to her, I asked her, how did you feel about it? And she said she was really excited to be there. So I think they're very happy to participate.
And of course, the tournament MVP who was also here for Everyday Volleyball is back. Congratulations to Aya. So we have Aya Rubio, who was our tournament MVP. Aya, last time meron ka pang injury sa kamay mo pero nakapag-MVP ka. So there you see your highlights, your reactions in the actual tournament. Aya, kumusta naman? How was the experience and how do you feel about winning MVP at the Echelon Under-16?
Masaya po kasi nakapag-bud po kami and nakapag-compete po kami sa iba't ibang teams. And lahat po ng tao doon super friendly. And ito po, big opportunity po siya for me since first time po siya. And yun po, nakakuha ko po agad yung MVP title.
Ano ba ang goal mo in the future? Is volleyball something you want to continue pursuing? And are there schools recruiting you after you got the MVP?
Ngayon po, wala pa naman po. Pero in the future po, gusto ko po maging professional volleyball player. Or if hindi po ako naging professional volleyball player, dentistry po.
Okay. Well, it's always nice to, dream outside of the sport that you participate in. We also have our best libero here. We have
Yes.
PJ Blanza.
PJ, here's
Curious
the
na ako, PJ, kasi maraming magagaling na libero. Of course, Don Macandili Katindig, you have Denden Lazaro Revilla, yung mga libero ngayon, sina Det Pepito, Jen Nierva. Sino ba yung idol mo na libero? Who do you pattern your game after? Don Katindig pa rin. Grabe. Don Katindig pa rin. And how was the experience? How does it feel to become the best libero of the tournament?
Super light sa puso kasi po hindi ko po maaasahan na magiging best libero po ako through that tournament.
Well, congratulations, PJ. And I'm looking at Natalie Stemeyer here, who was the team captain of PLDT. You've been wanting to say something since we were back there in the makeup room. Tell us about your experience at Echelon Under-16.
Overall, it was a really great experience and I was able to meet new people and really experience playing at the pro level volleyball. But like, of course, it was very nerve-wracking at first because, you know, it's like a new environment. But overall, I think our team really enjoyed and everything was great.
Well, that's good to know. And hopefully, there will be more Echelon tournaments in the future. Banggitin ko lang yung mga coaches, of course si Javen Kindao and David Honra, and of course I'll mention also the players from the Capital One Solar Sunnies, Kim Lim, Sofia Concha, Zaf Sulit, and Sam Patrona. Who wants to speak from the Capital One Solar Sunnies? Sino ba ang Bella Belen ng Solar Sunnies dito?
Hi po. So,
Yes, kindly introduce yourself.
I'm Zaf Sulit po of Capital One. And if I would say lang po, my experience during Echelon was super fun po. I got to meet new people, bond with them. At first po, it was hard, but then we got through it and we managed to get through the second round kahit di po kami nag-place.
All right. Well, what's important is you guys had fun. You were able to represent, meet new friends, and of course, be with your family as well. Maurice, as a final message to all of our viewers, tell us about the latest updates of Everyday Volleyball and of course, the future for Echelon with Brian and the rest.
Well, for Everyday Volleyball, we are continually training the kids. Gusto namin tuloy-tuloy ang grassroots volleyball. For Echelon, there's going to be a lot in store for you guys. This is not going to be the last tournament. Since we got everybody's experience, which was positive, for sure, there will be a next one, and a next one, and a next one, and a next one.
All right, well, looking forward to that. Guys, all the best. Thank you so much for being here on the show. Do you have one last battle cry before we go?
Jayman, you wanna say anything?
Anyway, thank you so much, guys. Maurice,
thank you.
Brian, Iris, thank you so much. Coaches, and of course, to the players, the Capital One, Solar Sunnies, and of course, the PLDT Junior Hitters.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys.
Hey, everyday!
Volleyball!
One team! Capital One!
Sunny!
There you go. And with that, thank you for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow on the Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. This is Anton Roxas. Have a blessed evening, everybody, and good night.